Thank you, Alan. And good morning to all of you, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Daniel Diermeier, and I'm the Chancellor of Vanderbilt University. And it's a pleasure to welcome all of you to our introduction of Coach Lea. Today is a pivotal day in the history of Vanderbilt University's college athletics program. We are proud of what we've accomplished, but we're not satisfied. We are proud of the success of our programs. Most recently, to just name a few, of course, in baseball, golf, and the SEC championship for women's soccer team. And we're also proud of our student athletes' success on the field and off the field. They succeed whether they become professional athletes or whether they assume leadership roles in business and society. We are particularly proud that we prepare our student athletes not just for the 4 years that they spend with us at Vanderbilt, but for life. But we're not satisfied. There are areas where we must do better and nowhere more than in our football program. Our goal is to achieve sustained success for the long run. And to do that, we need to build the right culture, a culture of excellence. We need to set our aspirations high, and we need to have the right people in place to execute that vision, and then we need to support them. Our first step in that direction was to appoint Candace Story-Lee as our Vice Chancellor and Athletic Director. She embodies our model of a student athlete, being both a successful athlete during her time at Vanderbilt and then having 3 degrees from Vanderbilt all the way up to a doctorate. She embodies what we mean by a successful student athlete. Together, we have engaged in a great process. We've looked at every aspect of our athletics program, how to better support our students, how to better connect with alumni, and how also to enhance the fan experience for those that support Vanderbilt athletics. We have high aspirations, and our goal is to build a culture of success. And now we're excited to welcome back Coach Lea. We had a very strong field of candidates and a rigorous process, but he rose to the top. In my personal interaction with him, I was not only impressed by his 2 degrees from Vanderbilt. We're still going to work on the doctorate, Clark, when you have a little time on your hand. But most importantly, he gets Vanderbilt. He gets its value. He gets what it means to be a student athlete at Vanderbilt, and he understands the university to its core. And he has been highly successful at the highest level of college football. He's committed to building a culture of winning, and he knows how to do that. Together, we'll engage and partner to build a program that is successful for the long run, that recruits and develops a group of players that will thrive at Vanderbilt. Today is day 1 in the proud future of the football program at Vanderbilt. We'll turn the page to a new chapter, and we're excited to do it together. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce Vice Chancellor and Athletic Director Candace Story-Lee.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And I too want to express my excitement for this moment. So I think all of you know that the Chancellor and I have been stubbornly committed to this "it's a new day" mindset. And I think we'll look back on today and this decision as a critical step in that journey. For a 14-day stretch, we dedicated our time and energy into identifying our new football coach. We took that responsibility very seriously. And serious it was as we had the opportunity to define and perhaps redefine the Vanderbilt way. We knew we couldn't make such a high-quality hire if we couldn't demonstrate our commitment to providing a first-class environment, which includes first-class facilities and resources. And I commend Chancellor Diermeier for partnering with me and making it very clear to the candidates where we're going in no uncertain terms. It has also been my intention to personally and individually express my gratitude to everyone involved in this search. The execution of something like this relies on the efforts of so many, and I'm very appreciative and want to express my gratitude. So to each of you, I say thank you. When I made the decision to go in a new direction with our football program, I was set on finding a transformational leader. Of course, I was looking for one who shares our values and our commitment to helping our student athletes succeed on and off the field. But I was also looking for a program builder, one with the vision and the ability, as Chancellor Diermeyer said, to sustain success. I knew Clark Lea was the right person for the job. It was clear to me by the conviction in his voice, the determination in his eyes, the competitiveness in his spirit, and the commitment in his heart to educating and developing young people. We recognized in one another a shared passion for Vanderbilt, and we understood what was at stake. We talked a lot about that. We also understand what we can be. The more we talked, the more affirming it was. Clark is highly regarded as a football coach, as a teacher, as a man of integrity. His demonstrated record of success at different institutions is clear. If you understand Clark and the deliberate and thoughtful manner in which he operates, you know he's been preparing for this for a long time. You also know that he earned this opportunity. And this isn't just any job for him. This is the job for him. As we've said, it's an exciting day. We're charter members of the SEC. We're one of the finest universities in the world. We sit in the heart of one of the best cities in the country. And special people choose to play and earn their degrees here at Vanderbilt University. So today we stand at a turning point. With the support of our chancellor, with a commitment not only to compete and to win, but to transform. It is, in fact, a new day, and we are, in fact, united. Please welcome Vanderbilt head football coach, Clark Lea.
Well, thank you, Candace, and thank you, Chancellor, for your remarks. So kind. And I want to start just by sharing my gratitude, first and foremost, with Chancellor Diermeyer and with Candace for their belief in me. You know, I'm so excited to get going on this journey together, and I look forward to working closely with both of you to actualize this shared vision we have. In addition, I must thank Tommy McClellan and everyone at Vanderbilt who's helped make this moment possible. I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank Notre Dame, and specifically Father Jenkins, Jack Swarbrick, Brian Kelly, the entire football staff and team. You know, Notre Dame has been such a formative place for me, and it's been everyone, every single person in that program that's helped me get to this point. I'm grateful for that. To South Bend, the community that's been our home for 4 years, thanks for taking us in. Thanks for helping us grow our children. To my wife Allison and my children Clark 3, C3, Mara and baby Jack. You know, my journey every day starts and finishes at home, and without your support and your inspiration, there's no way that I would be here. And then finally, there's so many others that have built into my career, coaches, colleagues, administrators, friends, family. I'm indebted to you for your belief, for your lessons, for your love. So thank you. It feels great to be home, but I don't want that to be the narrative coming out of today, because homecoming suggests this is an emotional decision. And I can assure you, for me, this is a strategic decision. This is about my belief in the potential of this program. And that potential is driven by the passion and energy of our chancellor and our athletics director. In a world where things are becoming more and more transactional every single day, Vanderbilt University still offers something of substance, something that lasts. And it centers on investment in people and the gift of an education that'll permeate a lifetime. And I know this because I'm a product of this. This is my school. I was educated here. I was built here. And I'm so excited to share that with everyone in this community. And I return home with a simple mission, and that's to win at Vanderbilt and to do it the right way. The aspects of this program that make it special are going to be the very things that generate and drive our ascent. It's going to be our unique niche in the landscape of college football that is the conduit for our success. And the foundation of our program will be in the relationships and in the commitment that we're going to share together. We're going to begin our journey focused on habits and heartbeat. Every single day from the moment our players enter McGugin, they're going to know that they're going to be built into and grown as people, as players, and as they leave, they know they'll be one day closer to their long-term goals. And though the work will be relentless, the journey within the program is going to be fun. Football is a game. Football is a part of our education. It requires spirit. It requires enthusiasm. It demands that everyone involved see our experience as ultimately important. However, football's got to be fun. I look forward to fielding a team that plays fast and plays free and plays together. A team that fights for every blade of grass on the field, a team that's competitive, a team that's tough, but also a team that's first class, just like our university. We will be steadfast in focusing on what's important every single day, and our success will be the aggregate of the small competitive choices we make each moment. It's going to be a blast, and I can't wait to invite everyone to be involved in this with us. You know, for everybody that loves this program and loves this university, this is an opportunity. But we have to realize and recognize the opportunity is not the outcome. The outcome will come in our shared investment, our commitment to the work and the sacrifice required to transform this program. And if we do it the right way, what we'll realize is by transforming this program, we in turn will be transformed by the program. I want to start with our former football players. This is your home. This is your program. I am your coach. I want to lock arms with you in this and build a program we can all be proud of. My door is always open to you, and our players need you. To Vanderbilt alums more broadly, I can't wait to see you in the stadium. I can't wait to celebrate big wins in Nashville alongside you. I'm committed, along with our chancellor and athletics director, to build a program that reflects the excellence of our university. And I need you to get energized. I need you to get motivated and get behind this effort. To Nashville, to our new home, to our new community, we're so excited to be a part. I can't wait to share my family with you. But I can tell you, your partnership in this is going to be so important as well. Because if we can get the spirit and the energy of this city behind the program, our potential is limitless. Ultimately, our collective efforts are going to deliver a program that is transformational to all its members. It'll be about creating an environment that will help mold the future leaders of our country and our communities. This program will be a part of a broader education that will allow our players to find a competitive advantage for the rest of their lives. I look forward to creating something here at this place in this moment. Again, something that we will all be proud of. Because where else at Vanderbilt can you live in a world-class city while getting a world-class education, while competing in the best football conference in college football? It's a special starting point to a special journey, and I'm so excited to be able to share in it with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now take questions. Please use the hand raise function in Zoom. Teresa Walker, if you want to lead us off, please.
Clark, congratulations. Question for you. You mentioned a lot of talk about potential opportunity. What was it that the Chancellor and Candace said to help persuade you that now is the time that things can be different at Vanderbilt? You have experience in this town with this program. Why is now the time that things can be different?
Well, let me, first of all, thank you for the question. Let me first state this. I've always believed in the potential of this program. I've always believed in it. And I want to be clear that Vanderbilt is special way beyond one person This university, its mission, and what it provides is something that is lasting for a lifetime. But it has to be driven forward by people that are impassioned to find its level of success. And when I met with Chancellor and when I met with Candace, I was just struck by not only how energized they were to find that competitive advantage and maximize this moment to move the program forward, but also how like relatable they were, like just how much there was such a common ethos, a common vision for how we could get this done together. And you know, the energy and the enthusiasm to do it a way that maybe hadn't been done before. And so those things to me, you know, set it apart as a job that not just was home, but a job that we could maximize and deliver to new heights.
Robbie Weinstein.
Hey, Clark, well, welcome to Nashville. And you know, I think one question a lot of people have is the offense. What type of offense do you want to bring?
That obviously I understand the question, and I want to assure everyone that as a defensive coordinator, like I've been dying to focus on offense for a while because that is ultimately what stresses me out, you know, every single day. So I'm going to attack it from that perspective. I'm going to look at it from a standpoint of, you know, creating something that would challenge me and challenge our structure and challenge our matchups. But you know, there will be time and energy put into finding the right coordinator for an offense. But I can speak in terms of what I'm looking for and what I want to do. And the first thing is, this has to be about getting the ball to our playmakers in space. I want to build an offense around the prominent players on our team that can score points. And we're going to create matchups. We're going to do things with shifts and motions that allow us to isolate one-on-ones and stretch the field both vertically and horizontally. So there has to be an explosive element to this. And I'm excited to create that. But beyond that, I think, and as a defensive coach, again, you know, the way you win games in the fourth quarter is from a powerful running game. And so all of this playmaking and again, vertical stretching has to be complemented with the ability to run the ball. And so that'll also be a part of this too. And again, to me, the personality in that coordinator, someone who's creative, someone who can look at what, you know, the players that we recruit and maximize their strengths within a system, those will be the primary things that I'm looking for.
Simon Gibbs, please.
Hey, Coach, welcome to Nashville. My first question is about the facilities, which obviously, you know well as a player or as a former player, and there's a lot of talk about improving that, about a commitment to changing for the future. Where does that start outside of the locker room renovations that are happening this offseason? Where do the renovations start and what needs to change?
Well, obviously, a part of my conversations with the Chancellor and Candace and Tommy centered around that vision for the future. And again, that's something we can all get excited about. But I want to be clear too, just in my stated purpose here, it has way less to do with buildings and more to do with our team. Like, I think that for me, the renovation starts in that locker room and in the heartbeats in that locker room. And it's a focus on building a team that has the components of a successful team. And that to me is way more important right now than the structures we'll be filling. I'm way more focused on the people rather than the structures. But again, as time allows and when the timing's right, there's a lot to be excited about on the landscape in the future that show the commitment and show that passion and energy that's driving forward. But my primary focus is going to be on building this team.
Gentry Estes.
Yeah, hey, Clark, I'm curious what the next few hours are going to be like for you as the playoff announcement is made, and how much realistically do you think you're going to be able to get done toward assembling a staff and getting settled at Vanderbilt while you're still obviously coaching the defense at Notre Dame probably for a few more weeks?
Well, I'm excited. Obviously, I'm living a double life right now, right? I mean, my challenge is just compartmentalizing, my energy and my focus. Which I want to say this too. I mean, part of my angst in all of this was, if we're going to be about relationships and about commitment, then it's of the utmost important that I follow through on the relationships and the commitment that I have in South Bend. And I was so excited when talking to Candace about that, because the word she brought up was integrity, and the idea that I'm fully supported in my efforts as the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame by the people here at Vanderbilt. And I think that is, it's such a neat thing. And it's one of those things that's so uniquely Vanderbilt, that they allow for the completion of a cycle before the start of a new cycle. But I can assure you that there are 24 hours in the day, and I will certainly use some of those to sleep, and I will use plenty of them to be with the team and be with the defense in South Bend, and game plan whatever opponent awaits us. But in the corners of the day, I have people here that I'm relying on, and conversations that are ongoing to help start the assembly of a staff and to start putting in action this vision. And that I also want to be deliberate in this. This isn't going to be a race to completion for me. This is going to be about making sure we get it right. We have one chance to get this thing off the ground, and I just want to take my time with it. And I want to make sure not only that we have sound fundamentals and sound X and O's here, but that the people that are in the seats are going to help enact the vision that we all share for this program. And so it's not a race for me. It's not how fast we can get it done. It's how we get it done the right way. I'll find time where I can, and I'll work with the people here that are on campus to start that process. But we're going to have plenty of time to get done what we need to get done to build the best possible staff that we can have.
Mike Corrigan, go ahead, please.
Hey, Clark, it's good to see you, buddy. I've known you since your days of following your dad around out at Greer Stadium. And I just wonder, at what point, I've always known you'd be the Vanderbilt football coach someday. At what point did you really envision this, think that you would come back and be the head coach here?
Well, in the excitement surrounding the announcement, I didn't realize that I was 2 for 5 as a sophomore. I've had plenty of, and so, I've always had an interest. When I made the decision to come and play here, to walk onto the team, and Coach Johnson supported that, I was fulfilling a lot of what was a childhood dream to be a part of this. And then, the ability to elevate and to be on scholarship was something that was surreal to me. But we won 6 games in 3 years, and I can remember in the wintertime, because I was always a guy that was working towards our goals. I can remember wanting to get and to train in the weight room around the Music City Bowl, and I couldn't get in the weight room because Boise State was using it, and I just, in that moment, I was so upset about where we were and so desperate to get this program where it should be, and that was as a player. And so I think as I kind of transitioned and thought, I want to get into coaching, every decision I've made in my career was to hopefully have a chance at this job eventually. From the decision initially to leave, because I had an opportunity to stay as an entry-level coach here. But I decided that it was best to spread my wings and travel west to UCLA, to accepting my first full-time job at South Dakota State, because as comfortable as I was in Los Angeles, I knew at some point I had to go do it. I couldn't just, dream about it. I had to go get in the trenches and work at it. And, obviously my career arc had to align with this opening, and the fact that it did just confirmed the things that I knew to be true. Like this was a place that I was meant to take on, a challenge that I was built for, and I'm excited, obviously, about it. But I would tell you, Mike, it's been from day one for me, and I didn't know that I would get the chance. Certainly get the chance this early, but by God, I'm not going to screw it up. I can assure you that.
Chris Lee, go ahead, please.
Hey, Clark. Welcome back to Nashville. I know facilities are something you kind of went around the edge of earlier, but how much have you been maybe sold a vision on being able to be an architect of some things that you need and to have a voice in that? What can you tell us about will you have a role in deciding not done?
Well, listen, obviously anything that, we act on together, I'm sure that I'll have the voice that I should have as the head football coach. But to me, that is not what's important. And I don't want it to sound like I'm deflecting the question, because I understand the question. And I think it's great. And I think there's so much to be energized about around the facility, but the structures simply don't matter. It just doesn't matter. Like, the focus has to be on the players. And obviously, sustaining success and reaching our potential, being in new buildings and that commitment that's shown will be important in pushing this program forward. But my primary focus here, knowing that those things will happen, is not about, being the architect or helping, decide what color the seats are or anything like that. I mean, that's just not what's important to me. What's important to me is that when you watch a game, you're watching a team that you can get behind, that you can rally behind, that you can believe in. And again, a team that's competitive and a team that is tough and a team that's reflective of this university, because we all deserve that. We all want that. And I can tell you right now, as an alum, just like Candace, and as a former athlete here, this is very personal to me. And so I'm way more interested in what we can get done with respect to the people and the heartbeats in that locker room. The facilities, when they come, they'll come. We'll all celebrate them. It'll be great. But before the buildings, I'm interested in, what this team's going to look like and how we're going to build that competitive mindset day in, day out.
Joe Rexroad, go ahead, please.
We talk a lot about, schools and programs like Northwestern, Stanford. Obviously, there's a connection with Chancellor Diermeyer with those two in particular. But is that something you look at? Is that a realistic comparison? Do you think that Vanderbilt can be, Northwestern plays in the Big Ten championship game yesterday? Is that something you look at, or is Vanderbilt's situation not comparable, or do you not think that way?
I would start by saying that I don't want to ever compare this program to another, because Vanderbilt is uniquely positioned. And I think if we do our best to maximize our strengths and stay true to our personality, there are no limits on what we can accomplish. And to project forward right now is not to be authentic. I want to be authentic in every moment that I occupy this seat. And so to me, it's about reaching for the highest possible vision we can reach for. It's about rallying behind that. I can tell you that the aspects of this university and what's going to attract, players to this campus will also make for a competitive roster with heartbeat and passion. And anytime you start to recruit that and you create a spirit and energy around a place, anything is possible. And so, again, as my feet hit the ground running, I'm not looking to be Northwestern. I'm not looking to be Stanford. I'm looking to be the best possible version of Vanderbilt. And I don't think any of us know what that could be right now, but I'm interested in finding out. And I think once it's all said and done, if we've done our job and we've invested the way we should invest, there's no limit on what we can accomplish here. And again, that's why I took the job.
Betsy, go ahead, please.
Hi, Coach. So this roster has been depleted by opt-outs and transfers, especially in the past month or so. How do you rebuild that, not only with the players who are staying, but with adding more players to try to get to that 85 scholarship limit?
Well, I think, again, I said in my introductory remarks, this is going to be a program that's built on relationships. And so how do we start to rehabilitate and rebuild? It's in, spending time together, getting to know each other and investing in each other. I mean, look, there's going to have to be a baseline of, I mean, this has to be new. This has to be different. Just by nature of what we want to accomplish, it has to be different day in and day out. And so there's going to have to be an element of trust that's kind of defaulted to as we get this going. But that trust is going to give way to really deeply embedded friendships and relationships. Because humans are still emotional beings. We're still looking to be inspired forward, every single one of us. And players are no different. And so again, if they go into a place where they know that they're getting better, they're getting coached at a high level, they're able to keep their dignity day in, day out, they're taught, by teachers that could be in other classrooms. That's motivating to a player. And I think we'll feed off each other's energy that way. And I think those will be the initial phases of seeing this place start tipping towards, that future that we're speaking about. And again, on that note too, this has nothing to do with what's come before. I mean, I don't have any interest in spending time on what has been. The only thing I'm interested in is what is to be. And for me, it's the creation of a program with everyone involved and everyone invested that rises to heights that right now we may not even know are capable. And we can do that. But it's going to start with that baseline trust. It's going to start with the relationships we're going to build, the commitment. No matter our circumstances, we're not going to be victimized by anything here. This is going to be how we move forward and take the next step every single day. And then with respect to the roster numbers and the likes, I think those are best left for another day. I think this is, we can get more detailed into that down the road. But right now, this is going to be about just building that heartbeat and building those habits into the program that allow us the foundation to reach for what we really want.
Matt Fortuna, go ahead, please.
Hi, Clark. Congratulations. Good to see you again. As you prepared over the last couple of years to become a head coach, who were some of the influences on you, and what can you share about what they told you, from everything to interviewing for a job to a day like today when you're introducing yourself to a new constituency and going over and taking over a program?
Well, how long do we have, Matt? Because me.
We can. For a little bit, so probably not too long, but
no. Look, first of all, I am a part of all that I've met, and so every experience I've had as a player and as a coach. I mean, going back to high school, you can talk about Ricky Bowers and playing for him at NBA. Obviously, Brian Shoup at Birmingham Southern as a baseball player, Dave Jarvis at Belmont. Bobby Johnson and his staff here were so formative. I mean, I watched Coach Johnson every day, transform this place. It was a long process, but he was steadfast and he never flinched. And that was impactful. Getting my start at UCLA, and it was Carl Durrell's staff, and then John Stiglmeyer at South Dakota State, where I reconnected with some of those core values that were so important in terms of how we let our players maintain their dignity and how we teach them, instruct them, and communicate with them every single day a message that's positive and inspiring, and how we build toughness without stripping away and coaching them in a way that's demanding but not demeaning. Those things, at South Dakota State helped me. Going back to UCLA with Rick Neuheisel and his staff, and learning so much about recruiting and about, that kind of position as a CEO where, Rick had such an energy, and I never knew how to give a campus tour until I walked around UCLA's campus with Rick, which by the way was his alma mater. And, just experiencing his energy was so formative to me, and his belief in me too. I mean, that opportunity probably was the one thing that jump-started my career. From there to go to Bowling Green with Dave Clawson and to be a part of his staff. And I probably learned more football at Bowling Green in 10 months than I had in the entirety of my career. He had such a deliberate approach and a process to building that program, and I happened to get there at a time where he was, they were on the precipice, but we took the next step and got to a bowl game. And so then to Syracuse with Scott Schaefer for 3 years, where, really I reconnected with my passion and energy for coaching, and his willingness to let families be involved in the office and to be around re-energized me as my family, my young family was growing. And again, to meet an end there that was unfortunate, but a learning lesson. And then back with Dave at Wake Forest, where again, I got to see how his approach produces results. And then finally at Notre Dame, I mean, listen, Brian Kelly, I mean, I can't, well, for him to have believed in me enough to give me the chance to coordinate his defense, I will forever be grateful for that. For Jack Swarbrick's leadership there in that respect, and Father Jenkins. But, watching Coach Kelly, I mean, he's got an incredibly hard job. Watching him every single day handle that masterfully, his staying power, the sustained success, the toughness required to do that, really was an experience for me that I think put the finishing touches on my preparation. There's going to be a lot to learn, in this role, and that's where I'm going to continue to lean on those people that have propped me up and that have built along me, along with Chancellor Dearmeyer and Candace, just as we get this thing rolling. But the advice that I've always gotten from all these people that have a belief in me is just to be myself, to trust my instincts, and so that's what we're going to do, and I think that's what it means to have a supportive network. I mean, they believe in you for a reason, and so. To grip the bat and to take my swing the best I can and to be proud of it. That's going to be kind of the mission here.
Matt, did you have a follow-up? Good. All right, we'll close it out with Simon Gibbs.
Coach, there's been some discussion about your connection or friendship with Tim Corbin. Can you talk a little bit about that relationship and whether you had any correspondence prior to either accepting or interviewing for this job?
Of course, I'd love to talk about that. And I think probably in answer to Matt, I should have, brought up two influences that are non-football and not necessarily directly correlated to my journey, but one would be Don Meyer, who built a legacy here in Nashville and then moved on to Northern State in South Dakota, where my wife is from, and then obviously has since passed. But Coach Meyer, I used to go to his basketball camps as a kid, and I recently during quarantine was just going through some old notebooks that as you move away from home and you start your family and you move from place to place, you just keep packing the same boxes up. And so we took the opportunity just to do a little unpacking and reflection. But I had a notebook I was probably 8 or 10 years old from a basketball camp where I'd written down at that age to know the thrill of an all-out effort. And the fact that was the message to an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old from Coach Meyer was such a cool thing to me. My friendship with him, obviously when I was 8 and 10, I think I was scared to death of him, honestly. But my relationship with him in coaching flourished. I mean, I used to go at every opportunity and sit with him, and the energy he had as he was battling cancer and he had his accident, he would bounce around the rooms. He would be so energized to give of his time and give of his resources. It was deeply impactful and meaningful to me. And he had a simple approach to things. It was not anything that was fancy. It was just about rolling your sleeves up and going to work and treating people the right way and being true to your process. And then coupled with that, someone who kind of has similar connections was Tim Corbin. I mean, I used to watch Coach Corbin every morning when I was a player. He would be on the treadmill at 6:30 in the morning, or I'm not sure what time. It was early though. And I used to just admire his doggedness, his determination, and what he did with the program here, taking it from, a state of mediocrity and building it into a national standard. That is the blueprint. But before I was in this position, to me, I just wanted to, it's just a guy that you want to get around and say, what is the formula? What's his secret? What is it that he does? How does he pull this out of people? And also just felt like personality-wise, there were just some similarities. All coaches are different, and there are different ways to get at success. But there's a certain personality I think that I connect with, and I felt like I saw that in him. And so he has been incredibly helpful to me. I've learned so much from him. And as far as our communications leading up to this, I mean, I didn't want this to be about that. I mean, to me, and I said this to Candace along the way, like, this to me needed to be about Vanderbilt hiring the best possible coach for Vanderbilt. So it wasn't for me a way, how do I position myself? I wanted to authentically get to know the decision makers and let them decide for themselves. But certainly Coach Corbin and I shared excitement about the possibility, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with him, and as well as all the other coaches in the department. I mean, there's so many resources here that will help, because at the end of the day, this football program is representative of everybody. And so, you know, to be able to collaborate, to lock arms, to go at this with all those people in the building will be so exciting and so much fun. Certainly, I'll look forward to many more conversations with Coach Corbin, because I just have to go across the street now. Don't have to get on an airplane.
Coach Lea, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being here and joining us. Candace, do you want to take us on with a few comments, please?
Thank you, Alan. I would just say on behalf of our entire team, we are excited about what's to come. You know, we've talked a lot today about locking arms. We look forward to locking arms with every stakeholder, everyone who cares about this program. I hope that it's clear that it is a new day, and we're very excited. Anchor down.